Hey, what's up, Coach? Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is episode 214. All right. Yesterday's episode, we talked a lot about Dennis Rodman, whether you like him or hate him. Go back and listen to that episode if you missed it. That is, I think, going to be one of our more popular episodes here. And I feel like that's going to be a very impactful episode if you go and commit to that. Now, like I said, the title of today's episode is Time Passes Too Fast. And I'll tell you a little story. So yesterday I was at the park that I train at, and I just got everything set up for my session, and I was meeting with this boy, Carson, that I train. And I've been training this kid for essentially the last 2 years. And as we were getting done with our session, I saw this girl running around the trail, and this girl looked super familiar. And she came over after I was done training Carson. She was like, "Hey Ben, you remember me?" And it took me a second to remember, and then I was like, "Wow, this girl used to be my program 10 years ago," and it was crazy because I trained her when she was in high school. Back then, she's already graduated high school and college, and has her own business now. And it was so crazy to think about how fast time passes. And it was really cool because we were talking a lot about, how the training program that she went through, how that helped her make her varsity team, and ultimately, she didn't play college soccer, but she went to college and got done with that. And it's just amazing to think about how quickly, like I said, how quickly time moves. And here's why I'm telling you this, though. It's because when you fully commit to something and you make that your mission, it's like you'll be able to train hundreds and ultimately thousands of kids the way I have. And I can guarantee you that if you stay on your mission, you stay focused, you'll be able to train thousands of kids in a 5 or 10 year period. I know it. And it's really cool to see the impact that you can have on someone. And when I got to my car later that night after I got done with the rest of my sessions, I thought to myself, and I was like, you know what? I wonder what kind of real impact I had on this girl when she was in high school. And I remember I started to think about our sessions that we had, and I was like, man, I remember she wasn't that confident. She had low self-esteem. And I remember when I saw her that day, years later, it was she was a completely different person. And that doesn't mean that I transformed that girl, right? But it does mean that I had some small part in that. And as a coach, that's the most fulfilling thing out there. When you know that you can have some impact on a kid when they're in middle school or high school or elementary, it doesn't matter. And you know that carries them to be a more confident human being when they're older. And it was just really cool to see that. And I wanted to come on here and share that because when you fully invest yourself into kids, they will see the results that you want them to have, right? And when you're fully committed and fully focused on your business, you can have as many of those success stories as you want. And yeah, so I wanted to come on here and talk about that. And I know a lot of coaches out there, and I hate to say this, but a lot of coaches out there, they just want to do this type of business just to make money. And I'm not going to hate on anyone that just wants to make money. Some people are in terrible financial situations. They have to make money, and I get it. But I know a decade later, those coaches won't be in this business anymore. They're going to find something else to do, something else that pays more, something else that, that's easier. And to me, this is just a testament of when you stick with something over a long period of time, it's going to work, and you're going to see a big impact on the kids that you train. And if you look at the cover art of our podcast, it says impact, income, freedom. And it goes in that order. Like, you can't get that order out of place. It goes in that order of impact, income, freedom. And that's really my whole goal of this podcast is like, the more kids you can impact, right, the more income you're going to have. The more income you're going to have, the more financially free you're going to be, right? And just know that time passes really fast, man. And saying that, it's like you got to get really focused with what you're doing, because 10 years will go by really, really quickly. And what you do in those 10 years is 100% up to you. So that's it for today's episode. If you want to ramp up your business and get to that next level, if you want to make $100,000 per year or more, go to our mastermind page on our website. Just go to www.buildmysportsbiz.com and click on mastermind. You can learn all about what I'm talking about here. All right, that's it. I'll see you later.